12 stones. I don't beg.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Ashar Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Festival of Lights. Happy Feast of Dedication to the 12 tribes scattered. It's your brother Shire Walk, and I got my brothers with me.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Israel. It's your boy, brother Azari.
Shabbat Shalom, Israel. It's your brother Zakar.
Shabbat Shalom, Israel. It's your brother Shakar Araya coming at you.
Khan, we got three different camps on one panel right now. We got Believers of the Way, Dallas, or we'll just say Believers of the Way, Texas, and then we got Believers of the Way, Nevada, and we got Believers of the Way, Tennessee. All praise to the Most High. Three different time zones on one panel. All praises to the Most High. So as y'all can see by the title, richest prophet not in the day of wrath. Richest prophet not in the day of wrath. So that's going to be the theme of today's lesson. That's the overall theme of what we're going to go into here today. I had to pause. My brother Azar, me and him started getting into some really, really good conversation before getting on the live, and I wanted to pick up kind of where we left off at once we have our music session here in a second, but I want to kind of pick up with that brother and our other two brothers on the panel today on what me and the brother Azar was talking about before we went live, right? Hey, all praises to the Most High, Sister Barb. Ashar Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, happy feast of dedication to you, sister. And Ashar Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Right? Brother Jose, good to see you, King. Shabbat Shalom. Ashar Shabbat. Ashar Hanukkah. Good to see you, King. All praise to the Father. And Ashar Hanukkah and Ashar Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom to everybody that hops on. Right? So without further ado, we're going to get into the music portion. Y'all know how we do. It's been a couple weeks, but we're back at it. No excuses, right? One thing, I'm gonna wait. I keep trying to jump the gun. We're gonna go into it. Let's get this music and then we're gonna get into the lesson on praise. So today, I got a beautiful brother that I'm sure all Israelites know by now. If you don't, you're gonna know today. I'm surprised. I don't think I've ever played Ishan on the channel. Do y'all brothers remember me ever playing Ishan on the channel?
Nah.
No, I think this is the first time. And this is kind of crazy. This is my first time playing Ishan on the channel, bro. Ishan is absolutely immaculate, an incredible psalmist. The brother's music is very spiritual, and it's hard. The brother has bars, incredible, impeccable bars. Like the brother's amazing. I just put it like that. The Most High gave this brother the gift of music, and he uses it well. So, anyways, without further ado, this is Eshawn Burgundy Marks. Right, this is on his Joppa album, which is probably, I ain't gonna say this is even my number one album because some of his older albums, we're gonna listen to some of his music later, but Joppa is top 3 though, out of his discography for sure. So this is Joppa, Slakia, Eshawn Burgundy Marks.
Strong face. Shalom. Nothing's ever gonna break me down. Blessed with the spirit that I lost and found. Whatever he speaks, I know he will achieve. Tell my favorite rest in peace.
Yeah, it's real choppy. Just breaking up.
Top shelf for policemen.
Slakia, I got you. Can you say it's choppy? Hold on. It might be my internet connection. Let me disconnect from my internet real quick. Might be my bandwidth not being able to support the stream. Hold on one second. Let me troubleshoot real quick just for right now so we can get the smooth play. Give me 1 second. Let's see if this make a difference very quick. All right, let's run it back from the beginning. All right, let's do it.
Strong faith. Shalom.
All right, so still choppy. Let's do this.
And even so, it's like going in a fast forward.
Fast forward. Okay.
Right, 2x, something like that.
2x speed? What the hell? Okay, hold on. Let me do this.
Yeah.
That's some madness. Okay, hold on 1 second now. Let me make this simple. Because on my end, the way I'm listening to it, it sounds good. Yeah, that's what I'm on, Jose. I'm on YouTube. That's what I'm playing it from. I just got to do a couple of troubleshooting things real quick. See if it make a difference. Give me 1 second, family. All right. Reconnect it to a different Wi-Fi platform. Turn the Wi-Fi off. Close out extra tabs. All right, let's see. See if this make a difference. All right. Here we go.
Strong faith. Shalom. Nothing's ever gonna break me down. Blessed with the spirit that I lost and found.
It's still choppy, Shaquat, or no? It's still choppy. Okay, look. I'm gonna see if it make a difference. Shaquat, pull that song up on YouTube and share your screen and play it from your laptop. I'm gonna see if it make a difference. It's always a workaround. I want to see if that make a difference.
All right, how do I do it?
So go to YouTube on your open up a tab for YouTube. Look up that song. It's Eshawn Burgundy Marks. That's the name of the song by Eshawn Burgundy. And then show your screen. And then I'm gonna pull your screen up and I'm gonna see if that makes a difference with the choppiness. Because it may just be like my streaming being weak. So I'm gonna see if it changes with yours. Man.
What's the name of the song?
Marks.
Marks.
Marks by Eshawn Burgundy. Kwaranab, Brother Vic, formerly known as Brother Vic. Hey, good to see you, King Ashar Shabbat, Ashar Hanukkah, Shabbat Shalom.
All right, and how do I share my screen with you?
So go to your StreamYard and then go to present at the bottom. There you go. And then just share your, click where it's under tabs, share the tab, and then make sure you got your audio turned on toward the bottom right of that pop-up window. Oh God, Jose. Oh no, that's gonna be terrible. We're gonna try a different. We're gonna try a different approach. We ain't gonna be that. I got the phone like this to the mic. No, we're gonna try something different. Then we're gonna. If this don't work, then we'll see what else we can do. It just be like this sometimes, but it's always a workaround.
Hold on 1 second. All
right. Hold on, let me see. You sharing?
I had to allow access. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. All praises.
It's telling me it's going to have to quit and reopen.
Okay, good. I'm sweat. All right, so while we wait on our brother Shaquat to come back in, I guess we can briefly touch on what we're going to go into today, which is Prophet 9 a day of wrath, right? This is something that in my own personal life I've been dealing with, money. And I received a certain job. Oh, it's like plug my dad. Not building one second. Right. All right, here we go. So I got a certain job, right? It's paying good money, right? But it's starting to pull me away from doing the work. So what do I mean by that? It's too time consuming. So I'm a store operations manager of a business, and I don't give a damn about Esau's society. I don't give a damn about Esau's economy. I don't give a damn about Esau's corporations. I want to see it all burn personally. So with that being said, it's starting to cause a compromise in my morality, in the fact of I don't give a damn about anything Esau got going. If I'm being quite frank, I don't give a damn. I don't care. I'm doing this simply to provide for my family and provide for the ministry. All right,
All right. There we go. Now, share the screen.
I should see your extra screen populate when you do that, so I can allow it. There we go. All right, Con. Perfect.
Strong faith.
Pause it.
In these last days.
All right, that's good. Yeah, it's perfect. So
right.
close out this tab real quick, because I want you to show your whole screen. Actually, no, you good. So expand the video. Bingo. All right, now play it from the beginning. Make sure your volume maxed out. Told y'all, family, it's always a workaround. It's always a workaround. All praise to the Most High. It's always a workaround. All right. So this is
did you hear it clear?
Yeah, it's clear and it's not choppy. On my end, let's get two other witnesses. Zara Zakar, was that cool on y'all end?
Con.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Con, you straight.
Okay, Con. We're good. All right. Run that out.
Okay.
Strong faith. In these last days. Shalom. Nothing's ever gonna break me down. Blessed with the spirit of the lost and found. Whatever he speaks, I know he will achieve. Tell my fear to rest in peace. I'm with the author now. Yeah, I give no credence to my grievance. Sirens yell from policemen. Tears fell for a season. I'm back up. Compelled by my allegiance, derailed by the treason. But when I pray, it's like back pay. I'm stacked up. Faith, I don't be believing in bad luck. The universe in control of my life don't even add up. Bless the God of heaven. Give me all the sevens, love through obedience, that's beyond affection. He said you made in my image, that mean you're my reflection. That's what the devil hates. The Messiah survived, is still alive and walks the earth in the body of the saints. To ensure the death, the soldier pierced him with the shank. Out came blood and water, oh, that's out of order. Only way to maintain is do what the Father taught us. When colored people are born, the enemy try to off us. From the womb to the coffin, I was on my way to Tarsus like Jonah. These rappers nothing but personas. But in the priesthood, we gotta own it. Goliath endowed with power, but how blessed was his opponent? David killed a lion and birthed a lion for our atonement, yeah. A man after their own heart of the only God. Shrouded in so much armor, he had to throw it off. My protection is in the resurrection. X the next of these giants and next them to the essence. Demons want to put weapons in our intestines without no acquiescence. The day of Yah's return is clandestine. Stay in my confession with the scripture present. Ain't on the Bible. Only mark I'm taking, I already took. Elohim mark my name down in the holy book. Hanging with Christ, you see me as the crook, but not the one who cursed him. I'm the one he took. Shalom.
So we don't want it. We don't need it. No, no. I'm not buying. Take your mark and keep it moving on. We don't want it. Ooh, we don't want it. So we don't need it. No, no. I'm not buying. We don't wanna know. Pack it up and keep it moving on. Babylon the great, me know you're desolate. Doomed for destruction, we cannot affiliate. For me to live is Christ, I am unashamed. For me to die is gain, do not resuscitate. Chatty devil, tell them kayate. We shifting everything like a tectonic plate. Blood of Yahweh cover every state. Give me life insurance with a better rate. Wow, them want to trick me with the magic, but the word up in my heart, you know the verse, the mathematics. Now I stand up, move up into the attic. Extraterrestrial, I'm out the planet. Wow, them want to tear me down, them want to stop it, but we keep rising up every day just like a topic. Real soldier, ready for the static. Can't move me like my back up in the traffic. Well.
For the Bible tells me so. Jesus loved me, yes I know.
God, all praise to the Most High. Hey, that track is tough. That track is that whole album is tough. So, right, all praise to the Most High. Now let's get into it. Right, let's start off with the mantra of this lesson. Right, let's get the Book of Proverbs. Let's go to the 11th chapter. God, let's go to Proverbs 11 and 4.
Did you want to put it up on the screen for the family?
Yeah. Good looks. Come. Share my screen. All right. Whenever you got it, Azar.
John, it's the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, and verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death.
Now, when I read this verse, right? Let's go back to verse 3 and let's read to verse 4.
Con. Book of Proverbs, chapter 11, and verse 3. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them.
So the integrity of the upright, right? What is the definition of integrity? Doing the right thing when nobody's looking, right? That's the colloquial, summarized definition of integrity, is doing what's right when nobody is there to look at you, right? When only the Most High can see you and his angels, when you're in your secret place, right? Where it's the easiest to do wickedly or evil, right? That integrity is going to guide you throughout life, right? But the perverseness of transgressors are going to destroy them because their perverted view on reality will cause them to become prideful. That spirit of ain't nothing happened to me yet, so I'm going to keep doing bad all by myself. That's that perverseness or those forward thoughts that wicked individuals start to develop through their perverseness, right? Now let's go to verse 4.
Verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death.
Right. So riches profit not in the day of wrath. What does that mean? That there's going to be a group of individuals, or I would just say an overall overwhelming worldview that certain people will have in the end times, where they feel that money can buy them out of judgment from the Most High God. And Solomon and all of his wisdom that he received from the Most High God is telling you that that's the direct opposite. Your money is going to mean absolutely nothing when the Most High comes back to render his judgment on the planet Earth. The only thing that can deliver you from his wrath is your righteousness. And how do we establish our righteousness? That's the question that one must ask themselves. If me in this earth, this monetary world, and striving for all of this monetary gain, and that's going to do nothing for me at the end of time, like that causes one to question, well, what am I doing this for? And that's a good question to ask. The reason that you get money is simply to provide for you and your family so that you can live day to day. But if you're putting your trust in your riches, your money that you're working for, you're putting your trust in that, your weapons, the money you buy to buy weapons, thinking that in a day of judgment, I'm going to be able to shoot it out with the Most High and His angels. It doesn't work that way. Or I'm going to be able to buy, save up enough money to have an underground bunker to hide from the alien invasion. It doesn't work that way. The only thing that's going to be able to deliver you in a day of wrath is your integrity, your righteousness, right? And this is what's missing. This teaching that we given tonight is what's missing out of mainstream Christianity, out of mainstream Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, this new age spirituality or this new age consciousness movement that we see out of social media. This teaching right here is what's missing out of everything that people in the modern day world are listening to. Is the only thing that is going to get you to the next life to live forever eternally is righteousness, right? And how do we establish righteousness? Let's go to Deuteronomy 6 and 25.
King, I was already there. I had a few precepts loaded up, but I got you on the Deuteronomy 6 and 25.
God, let's read that.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God.
You see that?
Us.
And it shall be our righteousness. So this is how we establish our righteousness. Is if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God. That's the foundation of biblical doctrine. You are seen and made righteous by how well you keep the commandments of God. That is your righteousness. How well are you keeping the commandments of God? I just saw a sermon, and you brothers can chime in at any time you want to. Cut me off. Hey, sure, I got something, right? I just saw a sermon by the now viral pastor. It's his name, Michael. Let me get the brother his name right. Right. I think it's Philip Anthony Mitchell, if I'm not mistaken. But let me be exact and concise because I don't want the brother to feel this that I'm trying to slander it. Okay, yeah. So Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell, he has as of recent went viral, right? Let me share my screen. Y'all brothers know who it is. He's went viral. He's definitely trending on TikTok every other week, right? Because of this vulnerableness that people say he has, or the way that he preaches with what's the word I'm looking for? Conviction, right? Past this guy, brother Philip Anthony Mitchell. I know y'all probably ran across a couple of his YouTube shorts. But this brother's been going viral, right? And I just saw a clip of one of, I guess, I don't know if it was the end of his sermon or the beginning, right? Or interlude of his sermon. But he was talking about Christmas. And a brother, actually, I don't even want to summarize because I don't think that would do it any justice. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube real quick.
Yeah, you gotta find that video out.
Yeah. I don't think me summarizing will do what he said any justice. Let me get him to say his own words, right? Because the Bible says what? Thy own mouth will condemn thee, right? So Let me get this. And this is not to destroy the brother Philip Anthony Mitchell. I honestly like the way he teaches. It's with passion. It's what Israelites like. You know, he does teach with a level of conviction, and we know that the Bible also says that there will be some people with a form of godliness. Let me slow down. Let me just get to it. Let me see if I can find a clip. I know it's from my TikTok. Hold on. Let me see if I can send it from my TikTok too.
It's on Facebook too as well, right?
Yeah, I know. I like the video, so I can have it on deck. Hold on, y'all bear with me 1 second, family. And a short Shabbat and Shabbat Shalom and a short Kanaka to the family that's tapped in so far. I can't really see the comments right now because I'm on this back screen. But hold on, let me see. And Azar, if you could find it on Facebook, I don't know if you saved it. Email it to me because I want to show it. Hold on, I could probably search it on TikTok.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Yeah, email it to me real quick so I can play the clip. Oh, actually, I commented on it. Here we go. Okay, hold on. I can find it real quick. It's in my activity. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna email this to myself real quick. There we go. Gmail. Sure. I found it, family. Give me 1 second. Let me get this pulled up for y'all real quick. Because this lukewarm spirit is permeating in the Christian community, and this we know that this is nothing new, but the fact that it's trendy gives me cause to go into it, right? Because it's trending now, and everybody is loving the way he delivered this message, right? So hold on 1 second. I'm about to share this screen. All right. So I don't know. This had to be recent.
This week.
Damn, can I scroll down or what? Salakia family.
This week.
It's not letting me scroll down. I guess this is all I can see. Okay. So y'all, can y'all brother see the screen? Okay, yeah. I can see it. I can see it. Oh, Cap, what's good? A short kind of Shabbat Shalom King. Who else in the building? Let me do some shout outs real quick before I go into this. Sister Aaliyah, good to see you, sister. Short Shabbat Shalom. Anybody else? Manny, my brother, what's good? Short Shabbat Shalom. A short kind of all praise to the Most High. All right, so look, right? Proverbs 11:4. Richest profit not in the day of wrath, but the wicked, Salaki, but the righteousness delivered from death. And what's happening, what I've been seeing in the past couple of weeks, right? Because I ain't been live the last couple of weeks, but I have been looking and kind of, I've been trying to tap into the Christian community. And I've been trying to kind of force myself to have the discipline to listen to the messages, right? Because the Lord said not to be ignorant in anything, in any matter, great or small. So I want to know what my people are listening to. And 2819 Church is an all-black church, all Israelite church. All Israelites are in there, right? I just saw a clip the other day of him inviting an Edomite guest pastor to speak at his church, right? And he was going into how people were asking him if he was okay or if he was nervous about coming into an all-black church, right? So saying all that to say is that there's all Israelites in this brother's church. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell. And this message that he gave to his church disturbed me. It disturbed me because for this brother to be known for preaching with so much conviction and calling out the things that he sees are incorrect within the Christian community or the Christian church, it disturbed me for him to give this lukewarm, 1 foot in, 1 foot out message that he gave, right? And then I'll let y'all see, right? And we're going to go into it, right?
We're about to go into the Christmas holiday. Every year around this time, I see things on social media that makes my soul vexed. What we see are visceral arguments between believers about whether or not we should celebrate Christmas or not celebrate Christmas. We're doing this while unbelievers are watching us fight each other, over things that are non-essential issues. That we spend too much time majoring on minors and not majoring on majors. So I want to give you wisdom as your pastor and as your brother in the faith. There are some things that are essentials where we must agree about. The resurrection of Christ is an essential. The inherency of scripture is an essential. We must agree about those things. Should we baptize in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, or Jesus only? Non-essential. Should we celebrate Christmas or not celebrate Christmas? Non-essential. There's a camp that says celebrating Christmas is pagan. And if you're in that camp, you don't celebrate Christmas because you think it's pagan, you have every right to do so. But don't slander, which is a sin, brothers and sisters who choose to celebrate Christmas. if you're in the Christmas camp, you see brothers and sisters who call it pagan, don't slander, which is a sin, brothers and sisters who's in the don't celebrate Christmas camp, because it is a non-essential issue. It's not worth fighting and crucifying each other for. Now, let me tell you where I land. Philip Anthony Mitchell. Almost everybody in this room, you have celebrated your birthday. You've thrown parties, bought cakes. It is not uncommon to celebrate the birth of people we love. Jesus is a historical figure. He's not a spook or a ghost. At some point in time in a calendar year, he was born into the world. Unto us a son is given. A child has been born. So during a calendar year, at some point in time in history, Christ was incarnate. God took on flesh and came into the world through the womb of a woman. Do we know the exact date he was born? No. Do we know the exact month he was born? No, we don't have that historical information. What do we know? That he was born. Essential. We can agree that he was born. I don't think it is sinful to celebrate the incarnation of God becoming a man and coming into the earth. Because what we are doing is essentially celebrating one of the single greatest events in human history. God became a man. You don't want to put up a tree or wreath, fine. I don't think, me personally, it is sinful to celebrate or commemorate a historical event that happened in history, the birth of Christ. If your birthday is good enough to celebrate, you be turning up for your birthday and going out of town and hitting Cabo and buying cake. So your birthday is good enough to celebrate. But the Savior's birthday is not good enough to celebrate. For me, I'm just thankful that at least the world pauses for a moment to just commemorate the birth of Christ. Celebrating his birth is not pagan. If you think the symbols around is pagan, throw them out. But don't crucify brothers or sisters who celebrate the birth of Christ. And we won't crucify those who think the whole entire thing is pagan. Because what you really want is a calendar year where we don't talk about his birth and we don't talk about his resurrection. That is the alternative. I would add one last thing that I didn't say earlier, so maybe it's for y'all. You know you got unbelievers that celebrate Christmas. What an opportunity to teach them what we're really talking about. We'd be so legalistic about it. You don't even realize you're throwing out Christ with the tree. Get rid of the tree. But what's wrong with celebrating him? You could take everything out of your house, no problem. But just pick a day when you said we're going to talk about the birth of Christ. If you don't want to do that in December, do it in June. Non-essential. And where there's non-essential, we give other believers grace. It's legalism and it's nonsense. Only fools say everything they think. Come on, only immature people who don't have emotional intelligence post everything they think. Advent is what this season is called. In the 400s AD, they started celebrating Advent, which is the time leading up to Christmas, in which believers would have an anticipation of the coming Christ. Advent, Latin for Adventus, means coming of Christ, and having an eager anticipation for the second coming of Christ. That is what this season is supposed to commemorate. And so I want to ask you this week to spread love and spread peace and spread kindness and not hate and vitriol and slander.
All right, family. So I just want to commend every one of you brothers and sisters for having the discipline to watch that all the way through. That's something I'm working on in myself, right? That's something I'm working on in myself. The brother, I want to say this because I want to attack it from the Christian perspective, and I want to attack it from the Hebrew Israelite perspective, right? I ain't even gonna say the Hebrew Israelite perspective, the biblical perspective, the true biblical perspective. From a Christian perspective, that sermon is amazing, right? That sermon is absolutely phenomenal. So you telling me y'all celebrate your birthdays and y'all don't find nothing wrong with it, but now when Christmas come around, y'all got a problem with it, and now it's pagan, et cetera, et cetera. And you know the only reason that Christians are starting to come out and have this consciousness elevation about the pagan origins of different holidays that we celebrate in the western side of the world is because of the Israelites. You have to understand that we are the ones that are the spearheads or the trailblazers in the realm of theology, where we are starting to step away from all of the synchronism that was introduced during the Council of Nicaea and the elevation of the Roman Catholic Church. Let me slow down. I'm using big words. My wife told me I gotta stop doing that. Y'all decide to tell me I gotta stop doing that too, right?
Hey,
So
I got a couple of precepts. So.
Go ahead. Ring them off. Go ahead.
All right. One is in Psalms 27:12.
Hold on. Let me pull it up on the screen. Select it. And we're gonna slow roast this, family. So y'all just put y'all seatbelts on. Psalms 27:12. Bring it up.
Okay. Deliver me not over unto the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, as such as breathe out cruelty. Bring it
down.
And basically what they're saying is, don't send my people over to my enemies. Don't tell them things that is going to benefit the enemies and tear down your nation. Like, for instance, him saying, well, y'all turn up for y'all birthday, that's still wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you just gave them the green light to think, okay, I guess celebrating birthdays is okay. Like, he clearly just said it's okay to do that. So I guess it's okay. But then again, I guess he's saying if I'm turning up for my birthday, I need to turn up for Christ on his day. And that's still false, because Christ wasn't born on Christmas. He has nothing to do with Christmas, and he doesn't want nothing to do with you if you got something to do with Christmas and birthdays. So therefore, that's one of the joints that I wanted to bring out for that matter. And then I have another one right after that. Psalms 35:11.
Trying to bring it up
real quick. False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge. They laid to my charge things that I knew not. So basically, he doesn't know about Christianity. He doesn't know about celebrating your birthdays and holidays. Like, he know they exist, but if it takes you away from him, then he don't know you. So with putting those two together, like, how can you know Christ? How can he know you when you're steady knowing the heathen ways, when we're clearly told not to follow the heathen's ways? Like, so yeah, he's definitely leading his congregation and everybody that's not everybody, many people that's watching that don't know any better, into damnation, into destruction, So yeah, that's where I got those two pieces from.
Excellent precepts. And to your point, right? Going back to what the brother was saying, right? So from a Christian perspective, that lesson is amazing, right? If I would have heard that when I was a Christian, I'd have like, oh hell yeah, I love that. This brother's amazing. He's immaculate. You're telling me I can celebrate my birthday, Pastor, but I got people in the church telling me I'm wicked for putting up my Christmas tree and getting gifts and all of the extras, right? We drinking eggnog, infused alcohol. We getting lit. It's for Christ's birthday. I mean, surely if I'm turning up for my birthday, surely I should turn up for the Messiah, surely, right? During this winter season, with all of these rituals attached to his birth, right? So, one, I want to say this. I'm not going to go into it for you, brothers and sisters, because you all know about Jeremiah 10. Y'all know the origins of Christmas. I did a lesson 2 months ago when we went into Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, etc. Y'all know the pagan origins of Christmas, and that all of the rituals attached to Christmas, the ritualistic practices, the putting up of the Christmas tree, the placing of the gifts under the Christmas tree, Santa Claus, right, was actually Satan. Saint Nick was actually viewed as Satan in its original sense. The setting out of a food and drink offering. I grew up putting cookies and milk out for this mystical man. That's a food and a drink offering. I was involving myself in idol worship unknowingly. These things have absolutely nothing to do with the birth of Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. Absolutely nothing. You understand? So with that being said, what Philip Anthony Mitchell said, and I wanted that to play all the way through so y'all could see the foolishness. He's lukewarm and he's double-minded. How you got one half of your church doing one thing and a whole nother half of your church doing another thing? Paul taught us in his wisdom given from God for your church to be of one mind, one thought, one sound, one body, one mind, one sound, how they say in the band, right? Let's get that real quick. Let's go to the book of Philippians. Salakia. I think that's in Ephesians. No, Philippians 2 and 2. That's what we count. Let's go to Philippians 2 and 2. Because all it does is create confusion. Salakia. I can't spell sometime. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2. Here we go. This is what Paul wrote to the church at Philippi. Read that.
God, it's the book of Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind.
You see that? This is to a church. This is a letter to a church. Philip Anthony Mitchell is allowing the spirit of division and sedition to be in his church. You have a group of people, the way he was talking about, you have a group of a sect of his church that are vehemently against the celebration of Christmas. And then you have another sect of his church who are vehemently for the celebration of Christmas and all of the rituals attached to it. That is confusion. And we know what the scriptures say about the Most High and confusion. He is not the author of it. Let's get that. That is 1 Corinthians 14 and 1. Lord, I gotta brush up on the precepts.
Got you. 1 Corinthians 14 and 1.
Try and bring that up.
Follow after charity and desire spirit.
Salakia, I think that's 2 Corinthians 14 and 1. Salakia. 2 Corinthians 14 and 1. No? Hold on. Y'all bear with me. I wish I had Yatazai. He's a precept warrior. All right. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14 and 33. There we go.
33.
Yeah.
All right. 1 Corinthians 14, verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints.
Right. So there should be peace and not confusion in the churches of the saints. But he got a church full of confusion. Now, why am I saying this, right? Richest prophet on the day of wrath. I said that was going to be the theme. That was going to be the motif of today's lesson, right? Really, I really should probably change it to the integrity of the upright shall guide you, right? Only your righteousness is going to get you out of this place. And what we have in today's society and in the modern world and in society within the Christian community, within the religious community of America, period, is you have this this liberty for sin. All of these pastors allow liberty for sin, even with all of the knowledge increasing around them. The reason that Philip Anthony had to address his church in this manner is because he knows within himself that there are pagan rituals attached to Christmas. He knows that. He understands that all well, full well, which is why he tried to wiggle his way out of it with all of those disclaimers he gave. Sister Jemiah, Shabbat Shalom, Mashar Kanakasas. That's why he had to do that. He had to give all of these disclaimers as to why he felt that you shouldn't condemn a person for doing it, but you also shouldn't condemn a person for not doing it. Whoa. This is what the Bible says about how to serve God, right? Because the Christian church doesn't understand how to worship God properly because they remove 80% of the Bible when they teach. Christians teach from Matthew to 2 Thessalonians. No, not to 2 Thessalonians. What's the last book that Paul wrote? Was it 2 Timothy or was it Titus? Let me see real quick. Brother Yatas, I said 99%. That brother fool. Yeah, more like 99% of the Bible they remove, right? But they teach from Matthew to 2 Timothy. No, to Titus, Salakia. To Titus. They teach from Hebrews, the water. They teach from Matthew to Hebrews. And then after that, it's a wrap. Because even when you get to 1 Peter, you're cooked. Because Peter teaches you that Christ was the example left for us to follow, in whom was no sin found and no guile found in his mouth. So if you follow in Peter, you got to keep the commandments. Because if you say you're a Christian, that means Christian means to be a follower of Christ, which means I'm going to follow in his footsteps. I'm going to model my behavior after him. I'm going to conform myself to the image of Jesus Christ, like the Bible tells us to. And if I'm conforming myself to the image of him, that means that I must behave in the same fashion that he did, which was a sinless fashion. Do y'all understand? Drop a 7 in the chat if y'all follow me. I got to start slowing down. My wife telling me I'll be talking too fast. I'll be breaking down the scriptures too fast. Yatas be telling me the same thing. I sure you got to slow down. My brain just be working kind of fast. So drop a 7 in the chat if y'all understand your brother so far. If the Christian church was to actually deal with the Old Testament, their New Testament worldview would crumble. It would cease to exist, because when you're dealing with the Old Testament, it teaches you the New Testament. The Old Testament teaches you the New Testament. Ashara, what do you mean by that? Every apostle, every disciple, every epistle, every gospel is taught from the perspective of the Old Testament. So in order for you to understand the New Testament, you got to get the Old Testament. Well, why are you saying all that, Ashara? What does that mean? You're just talking. Well, the Old Testament tells you this about serving the Most High God, right? Because this is what it comes down to. When it comes to Christmas celebrations, when it comes to living your life righteously, what that looks like, it all goes back to what God gave the model for. God gave us a model to live by. He gave us boundaries. He gave us instructions on how to serve him and how to live on this earth while we're here. And that is missing in the Christian church. They don't teach this. This is why Philip Anthony Mitchell has to have that conversation with his church, because he doesn't teach the instructions that God gave his followers. Let's go to Deuteronomy 12:4. But I'm going to have y'all read it off the screen because we're going to read it in the NLT. Now, going back to Philip Anthony Mitchell, right? The Bible says your own words are going to condemn you. He was honestly trying to pander to more to the side of celebrating Christmas. If you listen to him very keenly, he was pandering more toward the opposite side of being okay with it, because it's a day where we can isolate Christ and celebrate Christ. Now, family, I know y'all follow us, so I'm not gonna, be overly redundant. La Barak and Ratazan both did lessons on Christmas, the pagan origins, and what they entail, and how they have absolutely nothing to do with Christ. You can go back and watch those lessons, and it be made very clear and plain to you that Christmas has nothing to do with Christ. The scriptural nuances and context clues the Bible give us about the birth of Christ in general prove he wasn't born anywhere near the wintertime. It proves that. You can literally Google, when was Christ born? And you're going to find 18 articles showing that he was born during the spring. No scholar agrees that Christ was born during the wintertime. Nobody in academia holds to that understanding that Christ was born in the winter, bro. And he said out of his own mouth, we don't have the historical data to show us the day that Christ was born. So why did we get December 25th? How did that come about? See, if you're a critical thinker, you're going to start asking these type of questions. But see, Christians, they're sheep, man. They are not critical thinkers. This is why it's very difficult to have conversations with them, because they don't like to think, especially Israelite Christians. Because Israelites, when you got a black Christian, you fighting two different battles. One, you fighting the spiritual hard-heartedness and stiff-neckedness of the Israelite in general. We're a stiff-necked and hard-hearted people just off the jump. That's the spirit that the Most High gave us. Like, we're stiff-necked and hard-hearted, and we hate God. That's what the Bible's saying. And we're stupid. The Bible also calls Israelites stupid. That's one spirit you got to fight. And that encompasses about 7 spirits in itself, in that one spirit. Then you got the opposite spirit of the Christian spirit, in the indoctrination and the Stockholm syndrome and all the other mental illnesses that come with Christianity. All of the other mental illnesses that are associated with Christianity that you must succumb to be a Christian. When you become a Christian, you stop reasoning, right? When you become a Christian, you become comfortable. We all know nobody likes being uncomfortable. When you're a Christian, you are very comfortable. You are very comfortable with your lifestyle, the way you live. You start making excuses for everything. Zara, we're gonna go back into that on this live today about comfortability and being comfortable, right? America in general makes us comfortable as Israelites. And then on top of that, when you become a Christian, you become that more comfortable because you can hide behind the teaching of Christ pinned all of my sins to the cross with him. So I don't have to deal with the mental strain of knowing that I'm a wicked individual and I have to make myself right in the eyes of God because Jesus Christ already did that for me. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about pondering my steps as the wisdom Solomon gives us. I don't have to worry about that because Christ did it all for me. So this is the teaching that we have to come back to. And this is why Israelites are so important. This is also an exhortation for y'all, family, to keep striving for righteousness, no matter what is going on in your life, man. This is a message for myself. Don't let anything in your life compromise your moral integrity. And we're going to read that Proverbs 11:3 again. Don't let anything in life, nothing, your family, your job, your money, your car, your kids, whatever. Don't let anything in this life compromise your moral integrity, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. Nothing. Right? Let's get this. Deuteronomy 12:4. Let's read it in the NLT.
Con, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12 and verse 4 in the NLT. Do not worship the Lord your God in the way these pagan peoples worship their gods.
What? Read that again.
Do not worship the Lord your God in the way these pagan peoples worship their gods.
So the Most High God gave us instruction to not worship him in the same fashion that pagans worship their idols. That's a commandment from God. The Most High God is a separate God from any other deity. We have different customs. Why do you think all throughout the Bible, every time we went into captivity, especially the Persian one, that Haman wanted to kill all of the Israelites because our ways were so separate from the way of the Persians? Do you understand? The Most High God requires a different type of worship. And one thing I want y'all to key in on is that everything is spiritual, right? Every single year, our feast season is from fall to winter. That's when that's the feast season of the Israelite. That's when we have the majority of our feasts. From fall to winter, we got about 10 feasts in that time frame, right? And like 4 or 5 high holy days during that time frame. All of those feast days always somehow simultaneously fall on the day of a wicked Western holiday. Every single time. This year, Hanukkah was on Christmas. Hanukkah started on Christmas this year, and it happens this way every single year. The feast days always, I believe Memorial Blowing the Trumpets was on Thanksgiving this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the feast days, the Most High put his feast days in that time frame on purpose to see what God you was going to serve and how you was going to serve him. The Most High is not pleased with the lukewarmness of the Christian church. You cannot serve God and mammon. In one sense, in its immediate context, I mean, you can't serve God and money, but drawing another principle from it, you can't serve God and any other God. It's only one. That's Deuteronomy 6:4, the Shema. Hear, O Israel, our God is one. The Lord our God is one. It's only one God, and he requires a specific type of worship. He is meticulous in the way he requires his followers to worship him. The Lord never commanded anybody to celebrate Christmas. Now I want to touch on what he said about celebrating Christ's birthday. Me personally, I don't view birthdays as anything righteous. I'm gonna put that on the record. I don't see celebrating birthdays as righteous at all. There is no Hebrew Israelite custom that points to any shape, form, or fashion of celebrating birthdays. None. How do we see that? The way we celebrate birthdays is every single year, right? Okay, the wise men brought gifts to Christ when he was born. I see my perspective on that is that they was bringing an offering to the Messiah, which I can see in its immediate context. We see the Messiah being born. This is our deliverance. I'm gonna bring an offering, an alms gift to him. Why did they not celebrate Christ's birthday ever again after that? Why is Christ's birthday not being celebrated ever again after that incident? Why don't we see Yahushua Day like the fat brother who celebrate Thanksgiving? Why don't we see Yahushua Day anywhere else in the scriptures? Why every time I see birthdays being celebrated, it's something wicked going on in the Bible? John the Baptist died on Herod's birthday. Let me take it a step further. John the Baptist's head was served on a charger as a gift on Herod's birthday. Just at that simple. John the Baptist's head was offered as a birthday present to somebody else. So no, ain't celebrating Christ's birthday ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing to do with it. Now, moving on. Thirdly, Philip Anthony Mitchell, my brother. I just want to say for the record, because I had the same way I got on Brother Billy Carson, I got to get on you the same way, brother. That was terrible. That was very terrible, brother. That was awful. That was a very double-minded sermon that you gave. In one sense, you're saying it's okay to celebrate Christmas, but then in another breath, you're saying that it's okay for someone to feel that it's not okay to celebrate Christmas, but then you're telling that person that feels it's not okay to celebrate Christmas not to condemn someone else for doing it. That is confusion, my brother. That's absolute confusion, and we see here in the scriptures.
Hey,
God says not to,
he's teaching lukewarmness. That's what he's teaching.
Bingo. So not only are you double-minded, but you're also a lukewarm Christian. You're not even a zealous Christian, huh? You're not even an on-fire Christian. You can't choose a side. You cannot choose a side, my brother. That is confusion. Go to Joshua chapter 24 and verse 15, and let's get the classic. The Bible teaches that you got to pick a side, huh? You cannot be in church in the pulpit telling one half of your church it's okay to celebrate Christmas, and then the other half of your church saying it's okay for you to feel that it's wrong for you to celebrate Christmas. That is absolute confusion. The Bible teaches that you got to pick a side. There is no gray area with the Most High God. There is no excuse. There's no gray area with him. Before we go to Joshua 24 and 15, whichever brother has that precept, another brother read this on the screen one more time in the NLT, Deuteronomy 12 and 4.
Khan, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12, verse 4 in the NLT. Do not worship the Lord your God in the way these pagan peoples worship their gods.
So the God of the Bible commands his followers not to worship him in the same manner that pagans worship their gods. I'm not going to use this class to go into the pagan origins of Christmas. I actually have a video I did like a year or two ago on the pagan origins of Christmas. And again, you can go to the Believers of the Way channel and go look at the past 2 lessons that our brothers have done on Christmas to emphatically show that Christmas is pagan in all of its ways. Whether you want to go all the way back to the Babylonians or if you want to go take the Roman Saturnalia route. Whichever route you want to take, it's wicked. And it has nothing to do with God or Jesus Christ. Right, now let's get Joshua 24 and 15.
Khan, it's the book of Joshua, chapter 24 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve.
Pastor Phil, you got to choose this day who you go. I genuinely pray that the Most High allows these videos I do for these brothers to end up on their feed on their YouTube, bro. I honestly do. Because this is love. What I'm doing right now is love. I can't suffer sin upon you, Philip. I actually like you, Philip Anthony. I'm not one of the Hebrew Israelites you dealt with in your past who's rude, and has some kind of ill will for you. I love you. I love all my people, even in Christianity and in these other ideologies, because you're an Israelite. And it's my heart, soul, prayer, and desire that all Israel may be saved. So this is love that I'm giving you right now, and nobody else is going to tell you this. None of your advisors, none of your fellow Christian pastor peers, none of them are going to tell you this. They're not going to tell you that you need to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. That right is strictly reserved for the Israelite man, woman, and child. Now let's pick up where we at, King. After choose you this day.
Khan. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
And as a follower of Christ, as a follower of the God of the Bible, this is the spirit that you have to have. As for me and my house, we're going to serve God the way God told us to serve him. You know, the only way to find out how God requires you to serve him is to read this. It's the only way you're going to find out how to serve God. And it don't start right here. See, Christians leave out all of this. This is what Christians leave out. They don't read none of this. They just read this right here. Y'all see this? See, it always helps when you got a visual. This is what Christians use. This is what they don't use. This is all they use. This is what they don't use. This is like, y'all, as I said earlier, 99% of the Bible.
God, and they cherry pick from that small portion too. They don't even read all of that.
That's a fact. Even within that, see, I've even taken away the gospel from the average Christian because they don't even use the gospel. If you're talking to a Christian, you are going to end up in one of two places. You're going to end up in Galatians. You're going to end up in Romans. Or you're going to end up in Ephesians, bro. I can't even say Ephesians because Ephesians is pretty simple. But you definitely going to end up in, you're going to have a conversation about Galatians, and you definitely going to have a conversation in Romans. That is a guaranteed spot that, as a Hebrew Israelite, you should be very comfortable in Romans and Galatians, because that's where you're going to end up at having a conversation with any Christian. You're going to end up there.
Corinthians as well, too, because you know they get to talking about the Gentiles and in Corinthians.
In 1 Corinthians.
And especially John, because you know that John 3:16 and.
But look, Christians done got smart now. They done got cut so many times on John 3:16. All the brother got to do is go to John 3:14, and you're finished.
Easy.
It's a wrap for you. It's a wrap for you. The conversation is over. We done wrap that up, put that in a bow, and sent that off. U.S. Express, homeboy. It's over. So, Shabbat Shalom to brother, sister Tiara. Good to see you, sister. All praise to the Most High. Ashar Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, and Ashar Kanakat. So, with that being said, they don't go to Christ's words anymore because Christ teaches the law. You're never going to find a time where Christ is teaching you not to do so. Never. You're cut. If you try to read any red letter, you're cut. You're cut. So they go straight to Paul and misinterpret and misrepresent Paul's position. So with that being said, right? Philip, my brother, I want to say for the record, that sermon was terrible, for one. And for two, you have to choose who you're going to serve, my brother. You are accountable for every single. I don't even know if you understand the magnitude of the responsibility you have, because you're leading straight Israelites out. Regardless of if you believe we Israelites, you believe it like you understand it or not, you're leading Israelites astray, my brother, and hundreds of them. Because from what I see, I've watched a couple of his sermons, and he had his church is always fully seated. He never has an empty service, bro. It's full every single time. And to add to that, his online following is very large as well. Brother, the Most High is going to require every single soul of you on the day of judgment, my brother. And it's unfortunately, right, if he doesn't get it together, he's going to be responsible for all of them souls. Every single soul you told to celebrate Christmas and that it was okay, the Most High is going to pull that up on the big spiritual jumbotron of your life. When you standing before him and he opened up them books, he going to show you that clip I just played. He going to pull it up in live time in the spirit. And you ain't going to be able to do nothing but weep and gnash your teeth. So I'm praying the Most High send this video across you and you email me or something, because I'm at a point now in my spiritual journey where I don't care about white Christians. I don't care about Eurocentric Christianity. I am completely concerned with the state of my people in Christianity. And I honestly feel that Philip Anthony Mitchell can be reached in the right setting and at the right timing, because I don't see him as an unreasonable brother. I think he has a wonderful zeal for the Most High God, which is why I feel that he would be open and receptive to a respectful dialogue about our differences and our understanding. But that's just my optimism as a brother, you know. Let's go back to Proverbs 11:3. I get kind of sad when I look at my people, man, because it's like it's like John said, man. When the angel told him to eat up the whole roll, it was sweet in John's mouth, but it was bitter in his belly, because all of us on this channel, we know the destruction, the pain and anguish that the Most High is about to render to this earth and to the wicked in general. And I don't want to see that for any of my people. Like, I don't want to see that. I don't want that for any of them. So that's just, you know, everybody don't feel that way I do though. I want to see all my people safe. Because we didn't went through enough in our history. We didn't went through enough pain and anguish since our conception as a people. I just want us all to get it right. But I know that's not a reality, but that's just my optimism. Right. So let's read that Proverbs 11:3 again.
Proverbs 11:3. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them.
Right. So your integrity is going to guide you, but the perverseness of the wicked is going to destroy him. So we have to have some spiritual integrity when we're dealing with the Bible, some righteous integrity when dealing with the Bible. And Christianity is lacking this righteous integrity because they nullify 99% of the Bible. They don't use it. So when they get to the New Testament, they're confused and misguided and ill-advised. And one thing they don't understand is that Christianity is a doctrine that was given to you by your oppressor. Why is that important? Because a lot of black people say, oh, all y'all talk about is the white man, this, that, and the third. The reason that is important is because the white race as a whole, I ain't even going to say that. Let me be more specific. The elite of the European nations hate the Black and Hispanic people and do not ever want to let them go. They don't want us to leave. They don't want their rule to end. Esau is full well aware of why he is in power. They are full well aware of how they got in power. They know that God is the one that sets up kings. They know that God is the one that gave them this time for a season. And they know that time frame, that seasons end. There's a set allotment for summertime. There's a set allotment for spring, autumn, winter. They end though. They don't want their season of rule to ever end. And they know that if we come back to our nationality, one, it's important for you to know you're an Israelite. Because whether you're an Israelite or not is That is your ticket. It's not the whole getting punched in your ticket, but that's the ticket to getting into the kingdom, is whether you're Israelite or not. That's number one. There's 2 steps to this though. You got to get a hole punch. Y'all ever watched what's that movie called? The Christmas movie about the brother getting on the train. Help me out. I can't remember. I'm having a brain for it. Christmas Kids movie. Somebody online though. The brother Polar Express. Thank you. And the conductor had to go around and punching everybody's tickets, right? To let them know you on the bus and you on your way now, right? You made it. The way to make it as an Israelite though, you gotta be righteous. But that ticket you get is predicated on your nationality. The conductor is Christ, and he's going to come at the end times and punch the holes in your tickets. Hey, you good to go now. Hey, do you have a wristband? You got to have a wristband to get into the kingdom. So with that being said, we got to come back to righteousness and have some integrity with the scriptures. You got to have some righteous integrity, because none of the monetary things that you have in this life are going to deliver you from the coming wrath. Right? Now let's go to 1 John 2. And let's start at verse 15.
Hey, it's funny. I never seen that movie before either.
Polar Express?
Never seen it.
God. It's a good little kids movie. I ain't gonna lie. It's a good movie. For the kids, it's definitely pagan as hell. Because it's got some witchcraft in there. The conductor, he's really like this. Like the whole thing about Polar Express is that the train isn't really real. It's like kind of like the brothers in a trance type thing. It's got witchcraft. Being an adult and looking at it now, I can kind of look at it and be like, yo, this shit wicked as hell, this movie. But it's a good little kids movie though. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
But it's wicked. That's a wicked little movie, man. Yeah, I like that whole ticket and the punch getting the conductor coming around and punching the holes in the ticket. That's exactly how it is in the kingdom. That ticket you get to come all aboard, you got to be Israelite to be on board. Simple and plain. But that ticket,
just like they did the Ukrainians.
Bingo.
Yeah.
They didn't let us get on that train.
No.
It's like, you niggas can't get on the train. This is only for Edomites. Only Ukrainians can get on here. Right? So, but that whole punch for your ticket is based on your righteousness and how you lived your life. Because just being an Israelite, contrary to popular belief, it's not the only thing that gets you in the kingdom. Right? We know a lot of the Israelites killed the prophets, and Yahweh Shah condemned them for that. Now let's go to 1 John 2, and let's start at verse 15.
Con, this is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Right. So now we're getting back into the motif of the lesson, right? So nothing in this present life should compromise your righteous integrity. You should allow nothing to compromise you in that fashion, because that part of you is what's connected to your eternity. We live in a temporal world. Everything in his life is temporary, which is what John is about to teach. Everything. And everything as we know it is going to pass away. Everything. The job you got right now, the hardships that you have right now, the physical ailments that you have right now, all of that is going to go away in the new kingdom. So we cannot love anything in his life. Nothing. We have to be able to have a form of disassociation with this present world. You understand? Because the minute you start to grow attachments with things in this world is the minute you start disconnecting from the Father. Thus saith the scriptures. Right? Let's get verse 16.
Verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Whoa. I'm going to slow this down, right? For all It says all that is in the world. The lust of your flesh, your lust for woman, the lust for power, the lust for money, the things you see, the lust for the Bugattis, the Ferraris, the 1.5 million acre lands, the pride of this life, the American dream. All of that is of the world, and none of it is of the Father. None of it. The scriptures say none of it is of the Father, but is of this world, this present world, because riches profit not in the day of wrath. When Yahweh sends his son, Yahweh Shah, to come render recompense on this world for its wickedness, everything is going to perish, fam. There's nothing going to be left. We're going to have to rebuild the new world. Why do you think the heathen have to be preserved for the new kingdom? Because they're going to have to be responsible for rebuilding the world as we know it. Y'all understand that? The reason I'm saying this is because in this life, we get very caught up in everything associated with it, just by proxy of living. And there has to be a time in your life where you realize, yes, I need these monetary things to survive and live, right? But you got to be spiritual enough to understand that these things ain't coming with me. From dust to dust. I was made from dust, and I'm going back to dust when I leave here. As Israelites, we got a realist view on the world, bro. Egyptians, they was delusional. Egyptians believed that if they was buried with their women and their servants and all of the gold and all of the things that they accumulated in their lifetime was buried with them, that they was going to have it in another world. Psych, you're cooked. All of your riches have been translated unto another man. I'm going to briefly veer from here real quick just to show how cold the Bible is, because Solomon said this in the book of Ecclesiastes, right? The Bible's cold. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 1. And let's start at verse 13. Bible code, man. You got to have a real view. You got to be a realist, right? The Bible calls you to be a realist about life in general. Ain't nothing going with you. Go ahead, bring that out. Ecclesiastes 1:13.
Con, it's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 13. And I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of men to be exercised therewith.
Oh, hold on. Solomon had been given a heart to seek out and search out wisdom concerning everything done under heaven. Anything done on earth, he was given the wisdom to understand it. And he realized, let me read this in the ESV, right? Because sore travail, exercise therewith, it can be kind of difficult dealing with the old King James, right? So let me pull it up here, right? Let me go to Bible Gateway. That's one of my favorite Bible tools, by the way. Bible Gateway is the truth. I don't know if y'all know about Bible Gateway, just briefly, Baron, but the Bible it has study tools on it as well, right? Where it gives you understanding on certain books, the history of it, etc. I ain't gonna go too deep into it, but yeah, it's cool. I like Bible Gateway a lot. Ecclesiastes 1, let me get in the ESV. All right, here we go. Ecclesiastes 1. Let's start at verse 13. Can I see that?
Con, I can see it.
Con.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 13 in the ESV. And I applied my heart to seek and to search out by wisdom all that is done under heaven. It is an unhappy business that God has given to the children of man to be busy with.
Read on.
I have seen everything that is done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and a striving after wind.
Right, vanity meaning it's insignificant. Everything we do on the earth is insignificant. He's going to go into why.
Verse 15. What is crooked cannot be made straight, and what is lacking cannot be counted.
Read on.
I said in my heart, I have acquired great wisdom, surpassing all who were over Jerusalem before me, and my heart has had great experience of wisdom and knowledge, and I applied my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this is but a striving after wind. For in much wisdom is much vexation, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow.
Right, because you start to understand the way the world works, and that nothing you have goes with you. Nothing you have. Now let's jump over to Ecclesiastes chapter 5. And let's go to verse 10. I'm going to pull it up right here. I want it in the ESV as well. Here we go.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 10 in the ESV.
Pay attention, man.
Okay. He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This also is vanity. When goods increase, they increase who eat them, and what advantage has their owner but to see them with his eyes? Sweet is the sleep of a laborer, whether he eats little or much, but the full stomach of the rich will not let him sleep.
Whoa, hold on. I don't know if y'all are catching this. He said, he who loves money will not be satisfied with money. We all know the saying, money cannot buy happiness. The richest of the richest know that when you acquire a certain amount of assets, you start to lust for something else. You start to lust for power, influence, right? That's why social media is so big now, because Mark Zuckerberg got more money than he knows what to do with. Elon Musk has more money than he will ever use, ever. His children's children, probably 10 generations of you living off his money, if not more. Same with Mark Zuckerberg. So they no longer care about making monetary gains. They care about influence. That's why they want to control the applications. They want to control the media, because now it's not about money anymore. It's about power and it's about influence. I want to control the way that people think and view the world. Why do you think there is an attack on consciousness? Why are they trying to get rid of TikTok? Because for the past 3 years, I done learned more on TikTok than I learned in school in my whole 12 years. And I've only been on TikTok since, when did TikTok drop? 2020? 4 years? I done learned more from TikTok than I ever did in the American education system. And they don't like that, because they want to control your mind. Because your soul goes with you to the afterlife, not your body or your riches. This go with you though. That energy that cannot be created nor destroyed, but only translated, that spirit, your soul, your mind, that goes with you. And we see an instance of this. I'm not gonna go too deep. Y'all just will probably tell me in this moment, don't go too deep, brother. You're gonna bug them out. Don't do it. I'm gonna pause right there. Just know your mind, your soul, that goes with you. That's what they want to corrupt. Your mind, which is connected to your spirit. Your soul and your spirit are intertwined. The soul is the mind. The spirit is that energy that animates, that gives you the animation of life. Hold on, I'm going too hard. Let me slow down. Let's finish Ecclesiastes 5. So like you. Let's pick up at verse 13.
Verse 13. There is a grievous evil that I have seen under the sun. Riches were kept by their owner to his hurt, and those riches were lost in a bad venture. and he is father of a son, but he has nothing in his hand, and he came from his mother's womb. He shall go again naked as he came, and shall take nothing for his toil that he may carry away in his hand. This also is a grievous evil. Just as he came, so shall he go. And what gain is there to him who toils for the wind?
You see that? So naked you came into the world, and naked you're gonna leave it. The same way you came in is the same way you leaving out. And the point I was making in verse 15 is that other cultures, they're delusional. Ancient Vikings, the Celts, the Egyptians, the Sumerians, the Canaanites, they believe that they were buried with all of these rich other African nations, Hamitic nations. They believe that they were buried with their riches, their gold, their servants. You know, some cultures, I know the Egyptians did it, but some nations would kill, like if there was a king, they would kill all of their wives and their servants and bury them with them because they believed that these spirits would go with them and serve them in the afterlife, and that their riches would translate into the next life. That's delusional. The only thing that go with you is this. Sister Lee, I see your question, but for the sake of everybody, I'm not going to go into that because that's a very deep concept. But my answer to you from my research would be yes, you do remember what goes on in your past lives. I just don't believe that we, because of today's society, we don't have the spiritual capacity to tap into it. Christ could do it. If Christ could do it, we could do it. Christ remembered his past life. He remembered when he was incarnate as Melchizedek. Another example, Samuel, when he was in the grave and he got conjured up by the witch, he was in his wits. He said, "Why have you awakened me from my sleep?" He understood that he was Samuel. I'm not going to get too deep, though. That'll bug some people out. I'm not going to go too deep, right? I'm not going to go too deep. With that being said, though, right, riches don't profit in the day of wrath. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath. So, right, the point I wanted to make to y'all, family, and I want to pick up right now on Mazari when we was talking about how life can, because of our captivity, one, it makes you comfortable with the things with this life, because we get so caught up in the autopilot of life and going day to day and just doing our day-to-day things, especially if you're not an Israelite, right? If you're not an Israelite, or I would say just conscious in general, or spiritually aware of yourself, you don't stop and think about the stuff going on in your life. Like, I'm oppressed right now. Like, I'm a slave in a foreign land that I don't belong to. My land is being occupied by foreign invaders, and I'm waiting on my salvation. And we, a lot of times that flame gets blew out due to life, right? And we get very comfortable. And a lot of times we start to allow ourselves to become compromised, especially if we don't have any spiritual fortitude in this life. And that's the point that I wanted to go into today about everything in this life being temporal, and not attaching yourself to these things, having a level of disassociation with the things of this life so that you can keep your spiritual prowess in your day-to-day life. Right, I did want to finish off that 1 John. So, let's go back to 1 John and let's read verse 16, and we're just going to read straight through 17. Let me pull it back up. I did want to finish off on that.
You said 1 John what?
Chapter 2, and start at verse 16. And we're going to read straight through 17.
1 John chapter 2, verse 15, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, start at verse 16, and we're going to read straight through 17.
16. Verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever.
See, that's your spirit. That's going to abide forever if you stay in righteousness. Everything else in this world is going to pass away. The world, the lust of the world, the pride of this world, everything else is going to go away. Everything. We are working for a new kingdom. And that's the mindset that you have to ingrain. You have to program yourself to think this way. You got to sometimes you got to deprogram and reprogram. That's what I'm doing right now in the spirit of dedication. What y'all should be doing is deprogramming and reprogramming. Because I know I got to do it. And this is the season for that. To rededicate yourself to the Heavenly Father. Deprogram from all of the wicked. I was just talking to Brother Zar earlier. Like I said, we can pick up on the conversation. It can be less formal. But I was telling my brother that today I was like, bro, I got to get rid of all of the worldly music on my phone, bro. All of the worldly music, like, I got to get rid of this stuff, bro. Like, it starts to affect your subconscious. We don't think about our subconscious unless you're spiritually aware of yourself. Like, I'm very in tune with myself and my thoughts and where my thoughts come from. And I cast down my imaginations that I have, like the scriptures tell me to. I rebuke myself all the time in my mind. And I started to see within myself that when I would listen to certain music, it would put a spirit on me. And we know that music is spiritual. We see that with King David and King Saul, or David at the time and King Saul at the time, where David could play a song with the harp and it would remove evil spirits from Saul. So we know that music has spirits attached to it, depending on the vibration that the music is on. And I was telling my brother Zara, I was like, yo, I gotta let go of this worldly, like I have to let it go. I like it. My spirit likes it. And I'm like, why does my spirit like it though? This is evil what I'm listening to. The music I'm listening to is evil. This is transparency. Like, it's evil what I'm listening to. It's talking about murdering, prostitution, fornication, all manner of wickedness. I'm listening to this and I like it. I'm like, hold on. I'm going the hell off. I'm sitting here, I'm programming every day, listening to this music. And I'm like, hold on. I kept it balanced during this time of me listening to worldly music. Like, I would listen to the truth music more, but I'm still allowing that spirit to live though. And you cannot allow Satan any space. Can't allow him any space in your life. None. Because all Satan needs is that much. All you need is a crack in your armor, a chink in your armor, and he putting that sword. Bro, Satan is the most incredible of all of the Most High spirits, bro. When it comes to doing his job, he is immaculate at it. All he needs is a chink in your armor, and he gonna put that dagger just so perfectly to go straight through that chink right into your heart, bro. He only need a little bit. That's it. You can't give him any. You got to put on the whole armor of God all the time. Go ahead, Squad. I saw you come off mute. Go ahead, King.
Okay. No, you good. Now, I was just thinking to myself, as you were saying that, like, all the music that I listen to, R&B, hip hop, whatever, from the 80s on up, right? But then I also think to myself, like, I make music, and this is the whole reason why I only want to gear my beats to, us Israelites, the truth music, because as we slowly, to some degree, turn off the music we've been used to listening to truth music, I was just thinking, like, I know it's a variety of artists out there or whatever, but some beats sound similar to what we're used to hearing on tracks of rap and hip hop. Like, the diversity of it is there lyrically, but then sonically, behind it, what I mean, there's so many more producers that could contribute. And the part that makes me feel bad about that particular situation is the producers get hit, because a lot of times they don't know what's going to be said on their track. Now, that trip became a hit, and it's a worldwide hit. And now that we're waking up, now you realize, yo, dang, I could have put that track to a greater use, so that way it'll blow up in this lane, because that's dying out. The truth can, overpower the music today. You know what I mean? Just like Kirk Franklin when he got in the gospel. Once he stepped into the game, hear gospel the way he used to. So that's the way I look at this. I know I was on a long rant, but that's just how I look at the music, man. Like, you hear the beat, you get the vibes, throw the lyrics on it, it changes the vibe. And yeah, I feel you, man. Like, I don't never want to tell anybody, you got to do this or don't do that, when it comes to something like that. Just follow your spirit. If it troubles your spirit, do it. Take it away.
Right. And I also don't want to be, I started to feel like a hypocrite because I get on these lessons and I tell y'all about not supporting this wicked behavior, but I'm supporting the wicked behavior by proxy of listening to it. I'm giving them streams that's making these brothers money to keep continuing making this music. They get brothers get paid by streams. How many times his song is streamed, how many times his album is streamed, etc. They get money for this. And I'm thinking about this. I'm like, yo, I'm aiding and abetting a fugitive for the Most High. I'm aiding and abetting a fugitive for the Heavenly Father, bro. Like, no, I can't do this. So with that being said, Sister Leah said she went back to instrumentals. I didn't got into jazz. For some reason on TikTok, I ended up on the jazz algorithm. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. This is stimulating. Like, it stimulates my mind. I hear new things when I listen to it. I've always been a music guy. When it comes, just listening to music, finding notes, finding the undernotes, things like that, listening. And I had to go back to that too. Instrumentals, like just listening to jazz instrumentals, blues instrumentals, soul instrumentals, indie music, things like that to reprogram, bro. You gotta reprogram, because if you don't check yourself, like the scriptures say, you're gonna end up in a bad situation. And sometimes how the Lord work, he will give you over unto whatever that spirit is that you continue to give room in your life. The Most High did that in Romans chapter 1. It says that he gave them over unto their vile affections, because they thought not to keep God in their conscience, in their mind. Let's get that real quick, just to show y'all like how the Most High work. He will give you over to whatever spirit is that you continue to have presence in your life. The Most High told you to flee from Satan. If you resist Satan, he'll flee from you. You got to resist these spirits. You cannot allow them room in your life and join. You can't let them just be sitting next to you. No, you got to give some resistance, some pushback. No, you got to get up off me. You got to get up off me. I can't have you here. I give you no entrance into my spirit. You got to block that, and those spirits will run away from you. But when you start letting them in and you start kicking in with the spirits, now the Most High like, okay, I got grace for sure. That's why I sent my son to give you some time to work yourself out. But now it's been 6 months. So Shari, like, what you on? Like, are you with me or are you with them? Because I don't need you. I'm cool on you. Like, if you good with them, I'll let you kick it with them, and I'll exit stage left. That's how the Most High get down. That's what the Romans 1. And let's start at verse 24.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 1, and verse 24. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
So the point is, verse 24, before we read verse 26, it says, wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness. Meaning the Most High had you. You was dwelling in the shadow of the Almighty, but you kept trying to go out into the sun and get burned up. Like he was protecting you from that. And you kept being like, hey, Most High, I'm gonna just move your wings real quick. And the Most High, like, one day he had them wings open, let you walk out and cover them back up and put that gate there. you don't want to end up in that bag, right? Verse 26.
Verse 26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature.
Read on.
Verse 27. And likewise also the men, leaving their natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet.
Mm-hmm.
And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient.
See, this how the Most High get on. Because you didn't like to retain God in your knowledge. See, everything is up here, family. This is the battle. The battle is not against Esau. The battle is not against Moab. The battle is not against Ammon. The battle is up here. If you can conquer this, you can conquer anything. And I literally mean anything. If you can conquer this, reprogramming your subconscious and reprogramming your psyche into righteousness, you can conquer anything. Literally. And that starts with the little things. I'm like, bro, I got to start watching certain TV shows. Like, I got to get back to reading. I ain't read a book in God knows how long. I started reading a book that I got from Brother Devon. And it was actually about what I'm talking to y'all about right now. It's called Dust or Dew, Immortality in the Ancient Near East. And the book is literally about the biblical perspective on death and what happens to us after we die. And that's when I started having these revelations about, we've been learning in soldiers class, the brothers in here can attest to it, about the law of thermodynamics, right? And how energy works to prove, we've been learning it from the perspective to prove the existence of the Most High, but we can apply this to ourselves too. All of us have energy. The energy is our spirit. That spirit never dies. The spirit can only be transferred. That energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred. So when you die, that goes somewhere else. It doesn't go to the grave and go back to dust like your body does. The body is the conduit, or the vehicle for the driver. The driver is actually your spirit. And this is how you know you out of control if you're not in control of your body. Because this is just the car. The car needs a driver. The driver is your spirit. I'm going too deep again. Nevertheless, this book is called Dust or Dew. Hold on, let me pull it up right here. Slovakia. It's in my Apple library. It's called, I don't know if y'all can see that. Y'all might not be able to see it. I can drop the link in the chat though to the book. Hold on. See if it let me share it real quick. Oh Lord. I don't think it'll let me share it. Oh well, okay, hold on. Let me copy it and I'm gonna drop it in the comments real quick. But it goes into at the afterlife and the Hebrew perspective on the afterlife. And I've been reading that. There you go. So with that being said, that's when I started coming to these like conclusions that I was coming to, and then like reassessing the scriptures and going back through it. Like, if you can have a powerful mind, you can have a powerful life. You have to reprogram your mind though to get to where you need to go, and you can't let the world conquer your mind, because the world will do it. The world will put you in that mode. Go ahead, Azar.
Con, I just had a quick precept for what you're speaking on the mind, right? Romans 12:2, and it says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God."
See that? So that goes into reprogramming your mind. And I'm I was just telling me I got to start going into these health segments, but I think my lane, because I got a lot of books on the brain, how the brain works. I got textbooks like this size. This is my book on nutritional healing. I've been going into as of late. It's a textbook, you know what I mean? But y'all know, if y'all been following me for any amount of time, that I've been in the health scene for like since 2020. Certified nutritionist, certified personal trainer, all of it works, you know, holistic health coach, stuff like that. But life been keeping me from really going into my calling because you got to work and you got to make enough money to pay your bills and take care of your families and yourself. And it kind of, it will make you feel like you can't do what you've been called to do, but you can. That's what happened up here. That's where you have to start reprogramming up here and conquering this. Because like I learned this when I played football in high school. My coach always said your mind will quit on you before your body does. And that's so true. Your mind will tell you to stop before your body is really physically ready to stop yet. And if you give into that psyche, you'll always be a quitter. I'm telling you, once you can conquer this up here, you can conquer anything in your life. Literally. I mean that metaphysically, metaphorically, figuratively, and literally. You can conquer anything once you conquer your own mind. Because this is the greatest weapon on the planet, not a nuclear bomb. This. Your mind is the greatest weapon on the planet Earth. And on top of that, with your mind being the greatest asset and the greatest weapon on the planet Earth, you have the God who created all things that your mind is connected to. So you can call on this for extra resources to help this. I'm going too deep. Let me slow down. I'm going places. Let me slow down. Brothers, have anything I want to add? All praise to the Most High. So with that being said, family, riches and the things of this world do not translate into the next. So the things that you must focus on are on the things that translate into the next world, right? Which is your righteousness. I'm gonna end on this precept from Amasha Kawasa. Oh, go ahead, brother. The precept.
Yeah, Khan King. What you were saying. This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus and your Apocryphas, chapter 40. And I'll just get to the point. Verse 26. Riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Lord is above them both. There is no want in the fear of the Lord, and it needeth not to seek help. Pretty much just mean like how you were saying, like, definitely, like, you know, the riches and the strength, like, it's gonna make you feel better, you know, type deal, and, and you know, maintaining in the world, like you were saying, providing for your family and for yourself. But like you said, nothing's greater than that fear of the Lord, man. We know that that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, and we know that knowledge is instruction. And that's in the book between Psalms and Proverbs. Okay, so definitely just building on what you're talking about.
God, that's a great precept, bro. That's a great precept, right? And I'll end on this. Let's go to Matthew 6:20. Start at verse 19.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, starting at verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
So where you lay your treasures up is where your mind is going to be fixated on. If you're constantly fixated on heavenly things and spiritual things, you're going to walk spiritually. You're going to walk in uprightness. You're going to walk in righteousness. But if you are like the man that was in Matthew chapter 19, who could not leave his worldly possessions to follow after Christ, that's where your heart is going to be also. And that's going to lead you to be destroyed. Because we read in 1 John that everything in this life is going to pass away, everything. So you have to lay up your treasures in a place where moth, rust, and thieves can't break through, which is in heaven. All praise to the Most High. In the spirit of dedication, deprogram and reprogram your minds, family. Deprogram and reprogram your minds. That's my motto. Going through this feast, deprogramming and reprogramming, getting right. Brothers have any precepts they wanted to end off on? All praises. So with that being said, a Ashar Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, and a Ashar Hanukkah to the family. Enjoy this 8-day feast of lights. Make sure y'all rededicating y'all's spirits to the Most High during the season. Make sure y'all reprogramming righteousness into your genetic coding, into your DNA. Let your genetic information and the way your genes express themselves be righteous, right? So with that, I say Shabbat Shalom, family.
Took a step in my life, I'm standing 10 toes. Approaching trials and tribulations like a king do. Always focused and working up on my end goal. Charge it to the game before I ran into that end.
Shout out my elders working, trying to get together, making sure we do it better. Free us from this wider pressure. My people catching cases, double life he facing. Scattered all across the world, I see familiar faces. Say we all.